The USA is home to a town where the sun doesn't rise for 65 days straight, a lake so toxic it can kill you in minutes, a river that flows backward. These aren't scenes from a movie, they're real places, and they're just the beginning. In this video, we'll uncover 20 insane facts about USA geography that will leave you stunned. From disappearing coastlines to mountains still growing taller, these aren't just random trivia, they're mind-bending realities hidden in America's landscape. So, are you ready to explore a side of the USA that's stranger than fiction? Let's start with a fact so shocking, it will change how you see America forever. Fact 1. The USA has a town where the sun doesn't rise for 65 days. In Utqiagvik, Alaska, the northernmost town in the USA, the sun sets in mid-November and doesn't rise again until late January. That's 65 days of complete darkness. Imagine going to school, work, or even just taking a walk without ever seeing daylight. The people here are used to it, but for visitors, it's a surreal experience. During this time, the town relies on artificial light, and life goes on as usual. But when the sun finally returns, it's a big celebration. Fact 2. There's a lake that can kill you in minutes in California. There's a lake called Mono Lake, and it's one of the deadliest in the USA. The water is so salty and alkaline that it can burn your skin and eyes. But that's not the scariest part. Underneath the lake, there are toxic gases trapped in the water. If these gases were to escape, they could suffocate anyone nearby in minutes. Scientists keep a close watch on the lake to make sure it stays safe. Fact 3. The Mississippi River once flowed backward. In 1811, a massive earthquake hit the USA, so powerful that it made the Mississippi River flow backward for several hours. This earthquake, known as the New Madrid earthquake, was one of the strongest in U.S. history. It caused the river to reverse its direction, creating huge waves and even forming new lakes. Today, scientists say it could happen again if another big earthquake strikes. Fact 4. The USA has a desert with an underground ocean. The Mojave Desert in California might look dry and barren, but beneath the surface lies a hidden ocean. This underground water source is so large that it could fill Lake Tahoe, one of the deepest lakes in the USA. Scientists discovered this water while studying the desert's unique ecosystem. It's a reminder that even the driest places can hold surprising secrets. Fact 5. There's a mountain that's still growing. The Rocky Mountains, one of the most famous mountain ranges in the USA, are still growing taller. While most mountains stop growing after millions of years, the Rockies are relatively young, only about 80 million years old. They grow about 1 millimeter every year due to tectonic plate movements. That might not sound like much, but over thousands of years, it adds up. Fact 6. Louisiana is losing land faster than anywhere else in the USA. Every 100 minutes, Louisiana loses a chunk of land the size of a football field to the Gulf of Mexico. This is due to rising sea levels, erosion, and human activities like oil drilling. Entire communities have had to move because their homes are disappearing. If this continues, parts of Louisiana could be underwater by the end of the century. Fact 7. The USA has a river that's on fire. In 1969, the Cuyahoga River in Ohio was so polluted that it caught fire. Flames shot up as high as 5 stories, and it wasn't the first time this had happened. The river had caught fire at least 13 times before. This shocking event led to the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and stricter laws to protect the environment. Today, the river is much cleaner, but its fiery past is a reminder of how important it is to take care of our planet. Fact 8. The USA has a glacier that's bigger than Rhode Island. In Alaska, there's a glacier called Malaspina Glacier, and it's so big that it covers an area larger than the entire state of Rhode Island. This glacier is unique because it's not just ice, it's also covered in dirt and rocks, making it look like a frozen desert. Glaciers like this are important because they store fresh water, but they're melting fast due to climate change. Fact 9. There's a place in the USA where you can stand in 4 states at once. At the Four Corners Monument, you can stand in 4 states at the same time: Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. This is the only place in the USA where 4 state borders meet. It's a popular spot for tourists who want to take photos with 1 foot in each state. The monument is also a symbol of the unique geography that makes the USA so diverse. Fact 10. The USA has a rainforest. Most people think of rainforests as being in faraway places like the Amazon, but the USA has its own rainforest in Puerto Rico. El Yunque National Forest is the only tropical rainforest in the U.S. National Forest System. It's home to thousands of plants and animals, many of which can't be found anywhere else in the world. The forest gets over 200 inches of rain each year, making it one of the wettest places in the USA. Fact 11. The USA has a volcano that's been erupting for decades. In Hawaii, Kilauea volcano has been erupting continuously since 1983, making it one of the most active volcanoes in the world. It's not just a single eruption, it's a constant flow of lava that has reshaped the landscape over the years. Entire neighborhoods have been destroyed, and new land has been created as the lava cools and hardens. Kilauea is a reminder of how powerful and unpredictable nature can be. Fact 12. There's a place in the USA where you can see 3 oceans from one spot. In Montana's Glacier National Park, there's a spot called Triple Divide Peak. Rainwater that falls here can flow into 3 different oceans: the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Arctic. This happens because the peak sits at the intersection of 3 major river systems. It's one of the only places in the world where water can flow into 3 different oceans. Fact 13. The USA has a desert that's covered in snow. The Great Basin Desert in Nevada is one of the coldest deserts in the USA. Unlike most deserts, which are hot and dry, this one gets covered in snow during the winter. It's also home to unique plants and animals that have adapted to the cold, like the bristlecone pine, one of the oldest living trees in the world. Fact 14. The USA has a river that's bright blue. In Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park, there's a river called the Firehole River that turns bright blue in certain areas. This happens because of the hot springs and geysers that feed into the river. The water is so clear and blue that it looks like something from another planet. But don't be fooled, the water is also extremely hot and can be dangerous to touch. Fact 15. The USA has a lake that's pink. In Utah, there's a lake called the Great Salt Lake, and parts of it turn pink during certain times of the year. This happens because of tiny organisms called brine shrimp and algae that thrive in the salty water. The pink color is so vibrant that it can be seen from space. It's a stunning sight and a reminder of how unique the USA's geography can be. Fact 16. The USA has a glacier that's bright blue. In Alaska, there's a glacier called the Mendenhall Glacier, and it's famous for its bright blue ice. The blue color comes from the way the ice absorbs and reflects light. Over time, the glacier has been shrinking due to climate change, but it's still one of the most beautiful natural wonders in the USA. Fact 17. The USA has a cave that's bigger than a football stadium. In New Mexico, there's a cave called Carlsbad Caverns, and it's so big that it could fit an entire football stadium inside. The cave is filled with stunning rock formations, like stalactites and stalagmites, that have been forming for millions of years. It's also home to thousands of bats that fly out of the cave every evening in search of food. Fact 18. The USA has a mountain that's flat on top in Wyoming. There's a mountain called Devil's Tower, and it's famous for its flat top. The mountain is actually the remains of an ancient volcano, and its unique shape has made it a popular spot for rock climbers. It's also considered a sacred site by many Native American tribes who have their own stories about how it was formed. Fact 19. The USA has a lake that's shaped like a perfect circle. In Oregon, there's a lake called Crater Lake, and it's one of the most perfectly circular lakes in the world. The lake was formed over 7,000 years ago when a massive volcano collapsed, creating a crater that filled with water. The lake is also one of the deepest in the USA, with a depth of over 1,900 feet. Fact 20. The USA has a place where you can see the Earth's curvature. In South Dakota, there's a place called the Badlands, and it's one of the few places in the world where you can see the Earth's curvature. The vast, open landscape and unique rock formations make it possible to see the curve of the horizon. It's a breathtaking sight and a reminder of how small we are in the grand scheme of things. And there you have it, -20 insane facts about USA geography that prove just how wild and wonderful this country can be. From glowing rivers to disappearing coastlines, the USA is full of surprises that will leave you in awe. If you enjoyed learning about these incredible facts, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Let us know in the comments which fact blew your mind the most. Was it the town with no sunlight or the lake that can kill you? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.